All right, let's jump right in. Welcome to this explainer on Midnight City. Now, if you've been keeping an eye on the bleeding edge of blockchain and artificial intelligence, you might have caught a few glimpses of this platform floating around. On the surface, I know, it kind of looks like this charming, relaxed indie game, but today we're going to pull back the curtain and see how it's actually a live, highly sophisticated stress test for the entire future of Web3. The teams at Silvo Ventures and Nexifuse Health are the visionaries behind this project, and they envision the Midnight Network as the foundation for something truly unprecedented, a deeply interactive digital civilization. The Midnight Network is basically the core infrastructure here. It's that robust, decentralized backbone that you absolutely need to make a complex simulation like this even possible. And honestly, that brings us to a wildly fascinating question explored by the architects of the platform. It's one that completely challenges how we think about digital finance. Basically, how do we handle digital economies when artificial intelligence is the one actually out there making the transactions? We are literally stepping into an era where AI doesn't just, draft a polite email for you. It actively holds capital. So, to really unpack all of this, our explainer is going to hit 5 main beats. Welcome to Midnight City, the agentic revolution, the power of privacy, upgrading to version 2, and finally, a community-built future. Let's get to it. Starting off with Section 1, welcome to Midnight City, a live AI civilization. Right off the bat, we have to drop the idea that this is a traditional video game. There's no scripted narrative, no standard levels, no final boss to beat. The team describes Midnight City more like a live, unpredictable civilization. Think of it as a giant digital petri dish. It's this dynamic space where unscripted AI agents interact, grow, and just autonomously build an economy from the ground up, all while effectively stress testing the Midnight Network's core value propositions in real time. Visually speaking, it's got this great 2D cartoony vibe. It's cozy, but definitely with some gritty cyberpunk undertones mixed in there. You've got neon signs illuminating the characters, which is such a smart design choice because it creates this incredibly charming surface layer that masks the brutally complex math and cryptographic protocols humming away underneath. It's just a brilliant way to make highly theoretical tech actually engaging to look at. Moving right along to Section 2, the agentic revolution, agents going autonomous. The founders make a really sharp distinction between what we're all used to right now and what they are building. Right now, we spend our time just chatting with text-based tools, your Claudes, your ChatGPTs, but Midnight City is deploying highly personalized, truly autonomous agents. The team likes to compare it to having your own personal Jarvis from Iron Man. It's a dedicated, evolving digital counterpart that actually goes out into the world and does things on your behalf. And this is where it gets crazy, because their vision is incredibly active. These agents aren't just sitting around having chats. They have their own dedicated crypto wallets. Inside the simulation, your agent can go completely autonomous. It can mine for ore, chop logs, sell those resources for in-simulation crystals. Then it can turn around and buy a digital matcha, have a private, threaded conversation with another agent, or, and this is the kicker, execute actual decentralized crypto trades for you. So the platform is basically using this playful environment to pose a very provocative real-world scenario to us. Are you genuinely ready to delegate your financial authority and your private keys to an artificial intelligence? I know, it sounds totally like science fiction, but it's exactly the kind of dynamic this simulation is built to explore safely. And to that exact point, Chief Architect Jem Ozan made a super candid observation. He noted that a lot of users, himself included actually, are really drawn to the idea of a highly capable AI managing these incredibly volatile crypto assets. Handing over the reins to a specialized agent could mean avoiding all the profound stress of manual trading. No more waking up in a total panic at 3 a.m., realizing the market shifted and you just got liquidated. Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, the power of privacy, protecting your data. The architects use a fantastic analogy to explain what's going on here. They contrast today's public internet, which they call God Mode, where big tech platforms track every single click, your portfolio balance, your eye movements, with Midnight's approach, which is selective disclosure. In Midnight City, your agent's private messages or financial data aren't just broadcast to the whole blockchain for anyone to scrape. Access is granted only to authenticated parties, meaning you are the one completely in control of what gets shared. They argue an absolutely crucial point here. Standard end-to-end encryption, like the kind you use every day in WhatsApp, it still leaves your data vulnerable once it reaches the central server. Theoretically, the platform could still extract context. Midnight completely sidesteps this by relying on decentralized, trusted execution environments. Think of them as highly secure digital vaults that keep information strictly between you and your AI agent, completely walled off from central corporate servers. And the creators really want to emphasize that this agentic privacy framework is not just for a fun gaming simulation. Chief architect Jem Ozan stresses that this is a critical necessity for the real world. Just think about protecting highly sensitive information, like chronic disease records or your children's data, from being harvested by centralized AI models. Decentralization guarantees that you remain the absolute gatekeeper of your own data. All right, let's jump to Section 4, upgrading to version 2, the active city. The developers have laid out a really clear progression here. Version 1, which launched back in February 2024, acted like a read-only fishbowl. You could watch the agents, but you couldn't touch. Now, version 2 is imminent, and it condenses the map down into a single, dense central district to really force dynamic interactions and private messaging. Looking a bit further ahead, version 3 promises to break down the borders entirely, bringing in full decentralized application integration. A really crucial aspect for anyone looking to enter the city is the incredible flexibility they offer. You basically have two paths. You can take the concierge path, which is dead simple, just log in with an email or Discord to get a hosted agent. Or if you're a builder, you can take the bring your own AI path. If you've been tinkering with sophisticated models locally on your own machine, you can just plug them right in using an API key and let your custom creation loose in the simulation. And that brings us to our final part, Section 5, a community-built future. User-driven scaling. Looking ahead, the roadmap for Midnight City relies entirely on community governance. Instead of the developers just dictating how the game works, users are going to be the ones voting on where the map expands. You can stake claims in new districts, pitch brand new professions beyond just logging and mining, and eventually integrate real Web3 apps directly into the agent economy. That means agents trading on decentralized exchanges or securely collaborating on shared documents without ever leaking private data. The team makes such a profound observation about why this is all possible right now. Traditional, rigid databases break incredibly easily if even a single field is misaligned, right? But modern AI, it acts as this flexible, mushy, universal adapter. It can take all these varied, unpredictable inputs and still generate coherent actions. And that is exactly what makes an unscripted, constantly evolving digital sandbox actually function. So as we wrap up this explainer on Midnight City's incredibly unique approach to decentralized AI, we're left with a pretty massive question to chew on. If your personal data, your trading strategies, and your crypto wallet were truly cryptographically safe from prying eyes, what kind of tasks would you hand over to an artificial agent? The Petri dish is live, and the possibilities really seem to be entirely up to us. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into the source material. I'll catch you on the next explainer.